want to start by sharing a photo with you. I didn't tell you I would bring this up, but I'm gonna surprise you here.
Uh-oh.
It's nothing bad. Don't worry. It's not one of those memes you put on Facebook. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. When
So
somebody brings up an old photo, people tend to get nervous.
yeah, this was what 10, 11 years ago.
This was 10 years ago, Easter.
And for people who can't see this, if they're going to be listening to the audio, this is a picture of you and your lovely wife Anastasia. And this looks like the procession after your baptism. Is that
Yeah,
what's going
this
on?
was at the, I think it was, yeah, it was during the procession. And as a matter of fact, I still wear that shirt every Easter.
Really?
Yep.
Tell me about that day. Like, does this bring back any memories? What was going through your mind? What was that
It
like?
was, honestly, you don't, at least for me, I didn't know what to feel or think. I have kind of a business-like approach to things. So, I'm typically thinking in terms of the mechanics of things. So I have everything together. I'm getting there. I
Mm-hmm.
tend much more toward rationalism than mysticism
Right,
as
right.
as my default. And
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't like, it was just like go, 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 get everything together. And of course, it's a
Yeah.
long, we were uh, married, chrismated, baptized, and communed at that service, 4 sacraments.
Yeah. And this is typical, right? This is kind of the church way of doing things. Is you're a catechumen for a while, and then on Easter, is that's usually when they're baptized?
Well, no, not really.
Or is Lazarus Saturday? Is that when? I
Yeah,
know.
a number
The
of
man
them.
born blind. I'm trying to get this right.
Yeah, well, no, there is no typical day. You can
Okay.
baptize on any day, but there is an early church practice of
Right.
baptizing on Easter.
Okay.
And typically a year or two of catechesis before that.
Mhm.
Although it was funny because I was talking to a younger priest who was, they had baptized somebody very quickly upon his introduction to the church.
Mhm.
And the rationale was that, well, he had already studied so much and understood so much. And he did. I mean, the guy was, more knowledgeable than most Orthodox Christians you'll meet. But the problem is that it's not just knowledge, it's the issue that you have to live through the liturgical cycles of the church, through the
Mm.
fasting and the feasting, and participate in the life of the church for an extended period to see if this is something you can do. And this younger priest had brought up, well, they only catechized for 40 days. And I'm like, what? I never heard that. And he says, yeah. And I looked into it. Well, yeah, at the end of a year or two of coming to the liturgies, being a part of the church, and having, more or less informal contact instruction, there was a 40-day consecutive day, mind you,
Mhm.
period of formal catechesis under the bishop, which when you figure, vacation time and stuff, it's about a year. If it's actually 40 days,
Right.
and you're typically getting catechized once a week. So that takes you back to the year. But nonetheless, this was, after this long period of participation. So I really am a strong advocate for a good catechesis.
Doesn't that probably create too much of a barrier of to entry for people? Like if it was, you know, as it was in, the earlier church, right? Just baptized on the spot. Um, wouldn't that allow the church to grow faster and quicker? And of course, some people are gonna enter it and for the wrong reasons or be wrong, but how is that different than someone who's already in it, who's just born in it?
Well, okay, so let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
At the final judgment, who is going to be in worse shape? One who never entered the church, or one who entered it and then apostatized and left?
The latter, yeah.
Of
Mhm.
course. And
Mhm.
so if somebody is going to, we're not, in my evangelical background,
Uh-huh.
when somebody gets baptized, there's a big cheer and there's this big deal. And then there's, they give their testimony, and it's like they're cheering his victory at the starting line. but we tend to do that at the finish line. So it's not until you reach the end and you finish the race that the church will call somebody a saint
Mm.
or will celebrate, that they've uh, reached Christ. And so understanding things in this longer term, more permanent sense, then if you have to go through a year or 2 years, if that is an impediment to somebody and somebody wouldn't make it through a year or two of catechesis before being baptized,
Hmm.
well, then how would they make it through 20 years as an Orthodox Christian?